Hello, the day is Monday, March the 9th, 2020, and I just have a question. What about $15 an hour? It sounds good to you. If you're a person who's already making $8.50 an hour, I guarantee you $15 an hour sounds like a party, right? Wrong. In the state of Washington, as a matter of fact, they've raised their minimum wage to above $16 an hour, and guess what? The workers have suffered terribly. You now have more people who are homeless because they can't afford to live. Here's why. The $16 an hour sound great, sound wonderful, but most companies have had to deplete their workforce because they can't afford to pay the people. So that means where they had 10 people doing the same job on maybe a 3-shift day type of gig, now they've got to cut that down to about 5 people. And so 5 of them had to go. Somebody had to go. And so now you've got people who can't find another job because a lot of companies aren't hiring because they know they got to pay them at least 16 and I think 39 cents an hour, but don't quote me on that. So you find a lot of people in Washington now are being added to the homelessness rate. But you want to know who these people are? These are the working moms who've been single mothers. And I know a lot of people are blaming single motherhood on, feminism. I get that, but let's remove that from it altogether. Those single moms have children. And so now those single moms are going to straddle, unfortunately, the state even more because she doesn't have a job and there's nothing that she could do. And there's nowhere else that she can work because none of the companies are hiring, especially the small companies. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, there's a Walmart in every town, but haven't you noticed that the large portion of Walmarts are now switching over to do-it-yourself cash aisles? Yeah, because they knew this was coming. They knew that eventually we were going to have to pay these folks too much money. So if you want to buy something, scan it yourself. I always say, where's my paycheck? I don't know how to scan this stuff. If I come here and scan this stuff late hours of the night or whatever, I want somebody to pay me. That's just my inside joke. But on a serious note, these are questions that I don't think the majority of people had an answer to when the topic of $15 an hour came up in the last 2016 election, and I think the one before then. It would be great to be able to pay people $15 an hour, and like Washington State has raised their minimum wage now to over 16. It would be awesome to be able to do that. But small businesses are the ones that are going to suffer and are suffering. If you want to look at a template that is not working, glance right on over there out west. So not only do they have this virus that they're dealing with right now, but they've also got a high influx of homeless mothers, homeless people, and homeless children that are living in the streets, in shelters that are now really overpopulated, but they have nowhere to go. We really do need to consider this whole federal getting involved with the stuff with the wage. We need to consider this $15 an hour thing before we start to be the proponent for our states. Because if you are a standard worker and you are in one of those states that are still stuck at that $7.25 an hour thing, and maybe your employer is giving you $10.50 an hour, then you really need to watch it before you decide to vote in somebody who uses that $15 an hour thing to earn your vote. Because if Washington State is a template for us, as well as California, who's raised their minimum up as well, albeit it's not the 16, but it is up there compared to, what they used to be for California. But we really need to watch it, you guys, because what happens is not everybody is a worker that has, $100,000 attached to their job title. And those people who are making the little bit of money are going to be completely wiped off the map. That's the goal of giving them the $15 an hour. Listen, any politician that comes to you and tells you that he wants to give you $15 an hour, and then he wants to give you an education, and then he wants to give you good housing to live in, and then he wants to give you all this other stuff, is somebody who knows that letter A, if you have an employer, they're not going to be able to afford the $15 an hour. Therefore, you're going to have to lean on them to get everything that they promised while they were running for office. They are willing to give you everything because what they aren't telling you is this is the exact same thing that socialist communist countries do. China does. Russia does. All of these states and that's what they consider them. I don't know whether you know that, but once you become a communistic society, it's called a state. Excuse me. And the state is who is actually taking care of you. So now you become a ward, or you become a citizen of the state, and the state is the person who's responsible for you. You guys be careful when somebody tells you they want to give you free education. They want to give you free housing. They want to give you free medical. They want to give you everything that you need, especially if it's a stranger who has nothing indebted to you. You've not made a covenant with this person. You've not made a promise to, love through sickness and in health. You've not made any promises. As a matter of fact, they would know you from Joe Blow on the street if you walked up to them now today. Think of these things carefully when you make your decision to go vote for anybody. You're giving me something for nothing. What does that really mean? You want to give me everything? Sounds like the old shell game that they used to play back in the day. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.